Right now, I'm heading over to our high tunnel where we have tomatoes. I don't know if you can see that, but the plastic is really flapping. There is 2 layers of plastic that goes on a greenhouse. And in between those layers, air is pumped, kind of acting as like insulation. And when the insulation fan goes down, as it is right now, you can see how the plastic just flaps. And that's obviously not a good thing. It should be pumped up like these 2 greenhouses right here. And so I've got this little pump here. I'm gonna head inside, plug it in, and see if the receptacle's bad or if just the fan went bad, which is that little black unit right there. I hope it's just the fan because we have extra ones in case something like this happens. And by the way, this is our tomatoes. You can finally see now how all of the, well, not all of them, but a lot of the tomatoes are starting to turn red. We can probably come through here again tomorrow and pick a bunch. He's running. All right, so it's the fan. What's going on, Dace? It's very windy today. There's actually a tornado threat. Hopefully we do not get that or any bad storms at all, really. Mom and the guys are coming out of the field right now with a load of garlic. Somewhere in here, we have an inflation fan. The tricky part is finding it. Okay, so they weren't in that shed. We'll come over here to the little storage shed, see if it's in here. All of our sheds are so full that it's hard to find anything. I found one. Hopefully this is the right one. And that's it right there. You ready, Dace? I just finished up. You can see this is the old one. And just look at all the junk that's in there. It's like a bunch of bees and just dirt, debris, all that kind of stuff. So that's probably why it broke, probably overheated or something and just died. Inside, which I really don't want to go back in again, is the new one. Basically looks exactly the same. It was kind of a pain, although I didn't really expect it to be easy. But after a while, I got it the way I wanted it. And now hopefully in about 2 hours, this will be pumped back up again, hopefully before that storm hits. It is just so hot that you can't bear to be in these greenhouses at all. Luckily, we have a nice breeze, but if it wasn't for that, you couldn't be outside, honestly. I don't know if you guys seen in my last video, but we were harvesting garlic. And so in here is like one of soon to be 3 or 4 wagon loads full. And it's almost too full. What happens is these tops can't dry properly if they're too thick. So we're hoping within the next day we can get these spaced out better so they can dry even faster. But the really nice thing is that you can see how dirty they are. And just with a little bit of shucking, they come snow white. We got them out perfect timing. I really want to get the rest of the field out so they're just like this, because I mean, this is some of the nicest garlic we've harvested in about 2 or 3 years. Not that the garlic before has been bad, but as far as size and just quality overall, this is definitely the best we've had. I don't exactly know how many bulbs that is, but we have 10,000 planted, so probably that's around 2,000 to 3,000. This is the garlic field right here. You can see we have 2, 4, 5 rows left to go. We did 4 already. Actually, no, we did 6 already. 2 up here, 2 here, and 2 here. It's been about an hour, and I don't know if you can tell it from here, but that greenhouse is starting to get some air in it, which is good. Now we're gonna go plant my sunflowers. These poor things look a little bit sad. They got dry a couple too many times. I really don't like how that center is like brown, but I guess we'll see what happens. This is what they should look like right there. I don't know what's gonna happen, but regardless, we're gonna try it and see what happens. My dad went to go get supplies for the farm market, just like anything they need, any kind of condiments, whatever it may be. Also, he's getting stuff for the Blues Fest, which we're actually starting tomorrow. I went out with my Pap Huffman this morning, got some firewood for the roasting of the corn. And he's also getting some like butter, salt, anything else. This is our planting tractor, the John Deere 420. There's a cat. Ouch, hit my head on that beam. Oh, that hurt. Because of how our rows are laid out, we can't just drive our tractor straight down the row. Or we drive it straight down the drive road, but we can't just put the planter right on the back. We need to have it offset so that it goes where we need it to. And that is why we use this plate right here. And it works out really well. So instead of the row being right here, it's actually off to the right about, well, it looks like it's over 12 inches. Okay. Here's the transplanter. This is the water tank, which I gotta get some water in it right now. And it's not just regular water, it's got fertilizer mixed in with it. That way, gives the plants a jump start once they get into the ground. I'm hoping this will run into here without needing a pump. But I guess we'll find that out here in a second. It's going. So we got the sunflowers in the ground. Justin left, and my pap was standing or parked like right here with his truck, and I unhooked the planter, which is right here, and the tractor was sitting right here, which is pretty level. And so I walked over to my pap, which is where the tractor is right now, and I'm talking to him for about 6 or 7 seconds, and I look back and the tractor is going down over this little steep hill right here and heading straight down for that bank. And I took off as fast as I could possibly run. I was scared to death because I'm thinking I could possibly get ran over, but I can't let the tractor go down over the hill. So I went to jump up on the tractor, but when I did, I grabbed the steering wheel. The steering wheel turned sideways. Now I'm hanging on the tractor backward, or like straight out, hanging off the side. And I'm thinking, I don't even know, everything is a blur at this point. I don't know if the tractor is heading down over the hill or what's going on, but I couldn't get enough strength to pull myself up on with how fast the tractor was going, and again, falling off the steering wheel. Next thing I know, I end up over here by the red shed. I guess for me jumping on, or trying to jump on, I turned the wheel enough and I cut it sideways. And so thank the good Lord that that happened the way it did, because that was almost very, very bad. There was only 2 things that were gonna happen if that did not happen. And that was me either going off the hill with the tractor hanging off the side, or letting go right before the tractor goes down over the hill and letting it run over me. So I've actually got the chills a little bit. I'm still shaking, but at least everything's okay. Here's some of the remnants. I got my leg caught somewhere in here, and my shirt was hitting off the back of this tire, which I can't really even see. This day is just not going very well. After I had the whole tractor incidents, I went over to the greenhouse where we have our mini fridge to get my dill seed. I wanted to start planting some on the end of my sunflower rows where I didn't finish. And the fridge shut down. It was like 115 or 120 degrees in there with dill seed, sunflower seeds, and our cucumber seeds for the field. And that is, if you don't know, not good for seeds at all. That could completely ruin their germination, and then we're not gonna have enough seed for the field when we go to plant. So we're actually gonna probably test them out tomorrow to make sure that the seeds germinate okay. And if they don't, we're gonna quick order more, that way we have, because we still have to do another planting of pickles. And I'm out here now, like I said, for the dill seed. I'm gonna plan this, see how this goes, and if this doesn't turn out, then we're gonna order more of this as well. And so I've got my spade hoe. I've got real long rows here to make basically as much dill as I want to. I'm gonna start off with this left one here and go from there. So basically, I'm gonna take this and make a trench. Not too deep. I found out dill doesn't like to be deep whatsoever. Just basically deep enough for the dill to be able to sit in there. It's a hard spot there. My trench is now dug all the way down. And so I'll take my dill seed from Rupp and try and do an even amount throughout the trench, which I don't know if you can tell how windy it is, but this is gonna be absolutely horrible with this light little seed. Oh my goodness, it's blowing all the way across the trench. Oh geez, I don't know if I can do this. Maybe if I try from this side. It's a little bit better. Whoa, that was a lot. There, I gotta come. Oh my good Lord. Here we go. So I think I got it on pretty thick, actually too thick, but I didn't even get to finish my row. I actually fell about, I don't know, 30 foot short. It's starting to get really dark out though, and I want to get out of here. So now the next step of the process will be just taking this, I can never remember the name of it. I'm gonna call it a hand tiller, and just scratching over top of that dill to cover it up a little bit. A weasel, that's what it's called, a weasel. So the dill is in. I came up past, I wanted to show you the sunflowers. This row right here is what we just did. This is the row we did probably around a week and a half ago. You can see the difference. These will get that nice dark green, hopefully, in a couple days once their roots set, just like these guys. These seem a little bit tall and spindly, but I'm hoping they really start to beef up here pretty soon. It's the next day. I just got down here to the farm. The storms were not too bad last night at all. It sounded wicked, it was lightning, but it never actually hailed or nothing like that, thankfully. And so I'm just down here now to the truck. Today is the start of the Briggs Blues Festival, and we want to go get our corn from a local guy only about an hour away from our farm. But Dad wants me to test out the reefer and make sure that's going to work, because this truck is going to be parked out there with around 4 to 5 bins of corn, and we don't want any of that to go bad. It should be just as simple as pressing the on button. I think that's the on button. But maybe it's this one. Yeah, that's the on button right there. Usually it's got to get gas up to the actual engine, so it usually shuts off right after it starts. So it's running now for the second time. You can hear it pumping, and again I'll shut it off one more time before it actually tries to start up again. We actually don't use the reefer near as much as I thought we were going to. When we first got the truck, that was like the greatest thing, because we thought we could come home from market, let it run, and not have to worry about anything. But because we try and sell basically everything every single time we go to market, we don't have much left over, and it's not worth running the reefer, paying that extra fuel. So we don't run it, like I said, near like we thought we would. Here we go, I'm waiting. Gonna shut down, son of a gun. So this is what it's resorted to.
Today I'm gonna show you how to reset a Thermo King freezer unit.
Thank God for YouTube. Gotta reset. We're trying it one more time. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There it is. Gotta throw the jack on. We haven't used this thing since last year. We put it in here so we could get all of our racks on for the greenhouse. Dad and Pap are leaving now for that sweet corn. If you don't really know what we do at the Blues Fest, we roast sweet corn. And roasting sweet corn is basically just the process of starting a fire, and then we have a metal stainless steel pan on top of the fire sitting on cinder blocks. We put, I don't know how many, like probably 50, I don't know if we can get 75 ears in that pan. We cover it with burlap and we roast the corn in like 2 or 3 inches of water. We'll rotate it, make sure both sides are done. It's done evenly all the way around for around 15 to 20 minutes. And then you have a perfectly cooked ear of corn with the husk on it. Then you'll just take that back and you can eat it, put butter, salt, pepper, Old Bay, whatever you want on it, and it's ready to go. I think personally, it's better than just putting it in a pot of water and boiling it. It's kind of the same process, but now you've got the husk on it and all those flavors are just being absorbed right into it. Here's the cows, just gave them their chop, which is a mixture of corn, oats, and soybean meal. They're loving life, especially because it's the coolest day we've had in a long time with a nice breeze. One other thing I wanted to show you is the chestnut trees. We planted this guy probably about 7 or 8 years ago, maybe even longer. And it's just now in the past like 2 or 3 years started to put on chestnuts. This will probably be the biggest harvest we'll have yet this year. But the only problem is when we did this, or when we planted this in the ground, we didn't know we were gonna be putting a pasture here. So now what we're afraid of is we're gonna have to cut it down or severely trim it back in the next couple of years because it's gonna be growing into the fence, and obviously we cannot have that. But luckily we don't need to go in there much, so it's not really an issue, but I just know eventually something's gonna have to be done. But yeah, look at all those little tiny spiky balls on there. A little update on my Pap's garden. I know I haven't showed you this in a while. The wind's been playing heck on it. You can see how everything is just leaning to that side. But he does have some decent banana peppers. He actually picked all the nice straight ones. Actually, no, here's a real nice one. So that's really cool. Cherry tomatoes, he's got a couple on here. Right there. He's got some cherry peppers, not too far off. Tomatoes are awesome, just not red yet. Look at that guy. And I think that's just about everything. Oh, he does have sweet potatoes I've seen, unless he pulled them out. Update on the inflation fan. That is working beautifully. The greenhouse is now completely pumped up, and there's hopefully gonna be no more issues. Or the high tunnel, whatever you wanna call it. That's what you wanna see right there.